Hello and welcome to the final week of Season 4 in the Clubman class for the GT Sport Championship. We are here, as you can see, at Brands Hatch for the opening race of tonight's action for Red Bull Juniors. And I thank you all for joining us, especially considering the lovely weather we've been having recently in the UK. It'd be great for you. It's great that you can all join us. You're currently watching the fastest man in practice so far, Harry Neale, who's sitting third in the championship at the moment and looking for that final promotion spot. So second in the championship. He's 3 points ahead of Olly Smith, who will not be joining us tonight. We have two drivers down in the lobby, Peter Harris and Olly Smith, unable to join us, but everybody else should be in, and this could be the last one for a while. We've decided after this season to take a little bit of a break, making it a bit longer. So in terms of a championship, this may be the last commentary stream you hear from me. In the meanwhile, there may be other ones which aren't Club 100 or could be Club 100 related but not a championship as such. We will be bringing the championship back possibly sooner rather than later, but there will be a longer break than we've had, because we've had 4 seasons since December, so we've crammed them in while we've had the lockdown. But with lockdown and people starting to get busier, it just makes it a bit harder to commit, so we'll be looking at our options for that once this tonight is over. There may still be the O plate next week, so that will be something else to watch out for, either on this channel or the Double Dash Motorsport Media channel with Andrew Maffer. Speaking of DDMM, you can head over there after this race to go watch the top class where Ryan Sandal, I'll get it right, and Nathan Maximum are battling it out for the championship with only a few points between them. Going to the championship you're seeing in front of you, I'll give you a quick rundown of what has happened in the season so far. Martin Robinson leads the championship with 127 points. He won round 1, round 4 and round 6 to have 3 wins in the season so far, along with another podium at round 2 and round 3. So only been off the podium once this season, in round 5, and that was a Red Bull Junior race last week. Second in the championship is Harry Neale, who is on 2 victories from the season so far, and has had one other podium, which was 3rd place in the opening round. So a much more consistent season by Harry Neale. Sorry, I'm just trying to struggle to get up out my chair. There we go. So a much more consistent season by Harry Neale, which has put him second in the championship, just 3 points ahead of the missing Olly Smith. So there's no way Harry will be beaten by Olly tonight. Just behind is, as we said, Olly Smith, not here tonight, but has 1 victory to his name this season and 2 other podiums, so certainly deserves to be up there. But he only sits 12 points ahead of Cameron Biggs, who's sitting on 78 points, and Sam Dimlow, who's on 86. So Smith won't be keeping that qualification place to the top league this time out. We're just heading into qualifying, but we'll have a bit of time before the faster laps come in, so we'll carry on. Sam Dimlow, 86 points, no victories this season. We've named all the people who have won races, but a couple of fastest laps for Sam and 2 podiums in round 4 and round 5 really cemented his championship a little bit. And Sam, who you're now looking at on the screen, is sitting comfortably 4 points behind Smith, which he'll easily gain tonight, and we'll be looking to hold off the attentions of Cameron Biggs, who's in 5th in the championship on 78, as we mentioned before. Biggs had a slow start to the season, but had a podium in round 3 to reignite his championship challenge, and has currently just sits ahead of a little pack of drivers with Peter Harris, who is missing tonight, on 73, and Eric Mignon on 72. Mignon, very strong season from him, a couple of podiums in fuel related races, but certainly not slow in the Red Bull Juniors either, so he'll be looking to try and maybe, you know, if he has a good day, he could actually nip ahead of Sam Dimlow and get that 3rd place in the championship. So you know, those are the drivers who are really in contention. Further back we have Sam Taylor, new to the championship this year, one of the Club 100 workers who help us produce such a great championship. Just seen Kirif join the room. I think he may be possibly in the wrong one, but anyway, unless he's going to update Andrew throughout the evening, I'm not sure. But Sam, 56 points, got a podium in round 5, which was a great drive in Red Bull Juniors. He'll be looking to improve on that as Kirif leaves the room, heading over to lobby 1. But Sam, I think he's done a great job, progressed well, slow start but built up, and that podium was so well deserved at round 5. Just behind him we have Tim Maragon with 40 points. Tim facing backwards there just as we tune in with him. Oh no, just turned it round, shall we say. But yeah, Tim, plucky, shall we call his season. He's kept going and he sits on 40 points, and if he gets the luck tonight, cuts out a couple of the mistakes, he'll be right there with the rest of the pack. And the last in the championship, only on 17 points because he's only done one evening, which is 2 races, is Jay Elliot on 17 points. He teamed up with Harry Neale, is bottom of the Constructors' Championship at this moment in time, I believe. Yes, 110 points for them. Just 8 points behind Biggs and Tim Maragon. So a nice little battle there between Team Orange and Green for the wooden spoon in the Constructors' Championship. Further ahead, the 2 Sams, Dimolo and Taylor, are on 142. Now, didn't think they had a chance of getting into the top 2 of the championship, to be fair, but with Smith not turning up tonight for fair enough reasons, Eric Mignon has to carry the baton for Team Red, and they're only 20 points ahead. So the 2 Sams got a very good chance of stealing that 2nd in the championship. And at the top currently is Peter Harris and Martin Robertson, 200 points, and with Peter not here tonight, but a 38 point lead over the next team. I think it's pretty much sealed for that team unless the 2 Sams go on an absolute riot tonight and take 2 1-2s. Even that may not quite secure it. So the drivers are currently going round on their qualifying session. I've got the live chat open tonight, so feel free to leave any comments you like and I will try and reply to them the best I can. So we're currently looking at Jay Elliott, who's top of the pile, even though he hasn't been racing all the season. He's 25 thousandths ahead of Harry Neale at this stage. Martin Robertson, championship leader, 6 tenths off the pace, sitting in 3rd ahead of Cameron Biggs, Eric Mignon, Sam Taylor, Sam Dimolo and Tim Maragon in 8th. We've only got the 8 drivers. Tim obviously needing to put in a representative lap time, currently 44 seconds off the pace. Here he goes across the line, and that's much better by Tim, only gaining a bit of time and building up the speed as we go. So we'll just watch Jay Elliott here through the back end of Brands' circuit, heading into clearways. and down onto a pit straight. Can he improve his pole position time? He's being chased down by Cameron Biggs behind him, I think that is. Yes, it is, and Cameron Biggs goes quicker and jumps ahead of Martin Robinson into third place. It's a great lap. Eric Mignon improves his time but stays fifth. We've got a gap of second covering the top six. Sam Taylor again out qualifying Sam Dimler at this stage, so that's a great time by Sam Taylor. It's more experienced teammate in these cars, and on Gran Turismo slightly behind at the moment, but Dimelo will want to change that. We have 3 minutes 40 to go, and I think what we'll do is we'll find a driver who is near the start line. Let's have a look here. Should we go with... Oh, and off goes Jay Elliot. That's a massive off at the far end of the circuit, but he's managed to get back going again, so he will just rebuild for another lap. But we're going to go on a quick lap of Brands Hatch now. We'll go on board with the pole position holder as Tim Maragon improves his lap time. Well, maybe Jay isn't the best person to pick for a quick lap, but anyway, he is the quickest, so he's just let Cameron Biggs go past because of his mistakes, and onto the pit straight for the first time. A curved pit straight, angled as well, which makes it difficult to start these if you're on the left hand side of a track. Into Paddock Hill Bend he goes, brakes hard, keeps it, the power on round the corner. Lots of downforce in these Red Bull cars. Lightning quick as we go around the hairpin down towards Graham Hill Bend. Now this is just difficult, you don't want to run too wide, use a little bit of a curve. That's well done by Jay. Harry Neale goes quicker with a 121.2. I'll just see where that's put him up as Jay puts Harry up into provisional pole position ahead of Jay, so Jay's really got to find 1.5 tenths on this lap. You're on board with him as he heads down the back straight. Little lift, no lift into there. That's commitment by Jay Elliott. No wonder he was off there a lap ago. A bit too much curve there and he's off. Commentators curse that the commitment was there, but he throws it off the track, so obviously that's not quite how you meant to do it, but Jay will let these cars behind past. Here we are on board with Cameron Biggs, who is heading towards the start finish line to finish his lap. Can he close the 4 tenths gap to Harry Neale? We've got 1.5 minutes remaining of the qualifying session. No improvement for Biggs. Any improvement further behind? Doesn't look like it. Here is Martin Robinson, your champion-elect almost. Sits with a 34-point lead in the championship, so it's quite, you know, predictable, and he goes top at 3 tenths and first man into the 1 minute 20s here. A great lap by Martin Robinson, and I do have to hold my hands up. Last week I claimed that I thought the Alpine livery had come from the somebody else building it. It was actually Martin who built this livery for this championship, so absolutely beautiful livery there, designed by Martin Robinson. On the game. But Martin, this is his last chance to get a lap in, because the session will be over by the time he crosses the line. So if he wants to improve that pole position time, he's going to have to do it on this lap. We'll stick with him a little bit, see where Harry Neale is. He's just slightly behind. Jay Elliott is further ahead, so we'll go with Cameron Biggs actually, who's coming into the final corner. Let's see him finish his lap. Is he going to go any quicker across the line? Goes across the line, no improvement. Behind we have Eric Mignon, no improvement for him. Jay Elliott's next across the line. The session is over, so these are the last laps for everybody. Elliott improves up in second place, only a 10th off pole position, and I don't think Harry Neale improved. No, he didn't. So Harry Neale did not improve. Robinson did not improve either, so his pole position currently stands. Let's just see who else is crossing the line. We've got one more car to cross actually, and I think it's Martin Robinson who's going to be on pole position for this opening race of the night. Jay Elliott in second, let's just see, there is a car. It's Tim Maragon coming round, so we'll see if he improves on his current lap. But it looks like Martin Robinson and Jay Elliott will take the front row. First and last in the points will be first and second on this grid. Harry Neale in third with Cameron Biggs in fourth, Eric Mignon in fifth, Sam Taylor and Sam Dimolo sixth and seventh. Slightly disappointed if they want to try and take that second place in the constructors. But here comes Tim Maragon across the line. Can he improve on this lap? Yes, he does, but stays in 8th place. Oh, we got one more car, sorry. It's Cameron Biggs coming across the line for another chance. No improvement by Cameron. And Mignon improves but stays 5th. But that's the end of your qualifying session. And on pole position will be Martin Robinson for the championship race. So we head into this final Red Bull Junior race of the season. We've got 8 drivers on the grid. We have the lights on at the gantry. Martin Robinson on pole position. Jay Elliott second. Harry Neale on third. The 2 green cars looking good for the championship constructors wise. And we're away. Great start by all the drivers. Tim Maragon slightly lagging, but that's been a common theme in terms of the starts for Tim. He's certainly improving them though as he runs wide there at Paddock Hill, but hangs on. But Robinson leads ahead of Jay Elliott. Harry Neale fighting Cameron Biggs in the hairpin, still side by side. Eric Mignon side by side with Sam Taylor as well. But who will hold this out? They're still side by side through Graham Hill, and I think Biggs has got the run and up into 3rd place for Cameron Biggs. It's a great start and just what Cameron needs if he's going to try and challenge Dimolo for 3rd in the championship, and even Harry Neale for 2nd if he can get a good result. We've got a side by side further back. There is Mignon and Dimolo, probably sick of the sight each other after doing the Daytona 24 hours, as Dimolo runs wide and gets back onto the circuit. He's back onto the circuit there, but certainly lost out to Mignon there. But those 2 drivers must be sick of the sight of each other after the Daytona 24 hours. And off goes Taylor. Oh, Sam Taylor has spun at the top. Let's see what happened to Sam. It just comes, he's right behind Cameron Biggs, so great start, because Harry Neale had got back past Biggs, and he just, catches the grass. So easy to do there with the lack of a chicane that used to be there on that Surtees corner. But that's undone Taylor's hard work on this opening lap. But back at the front, it's Martin Robinson who leads down the hill into Graham Hill Bend. He has a 1.7 second lead currently over Jay Elliott, and Harry Neale in 3rd and Cameron Biggs in 4th. These 4 have opened up a gap over 5th place Eric Mignon, with Team White, the 2 Sams in 6th and 7th. So the race has currently settled down a little bit, and the champion-elect, if Robinson wins this race, whatever happens, the championship is his. Oh, he's pushing hard actually. I don't think he really needs to push that hard, because Jay Elliott, who's second in this race, is 110 points behind him due to not doing all rounds. So it's really not an issue if Elliott caught him, but Robinson wants to claim another win. He's already got 3 this season. He's finished on podium in every round but 1, all 5 out of 6 rounds, and he wants to keep that record going as he looks to be promoted as champion. A 121.2 there for Martin Robinson on that lap as he goes through the hairpin. Further back, we're now looking at Harry Neale, who has dropped Cameron Biggs slightly, sits the same distance behind Jay Elliott. So as I say, the race has just come to a bit of a lull. I saw Elliott very wide out of it, Graham Hill actually there. Might let Harry Neale close up just that little bit, and Biggs is not far behind. 16.5 minutes left on this clock, and we've got a battle for the lead somehow. I think Robinson must have made a mistake, and he's got Jay Elliot all over the back of him. We'll go on board with... Oh, and Harry Neale's wide. Oh, lucky not to hit the wall there, actually, for Harry Neale. But we'll just look back and see if we can see what happened. Here's Robin on board with Robinson. And he heads down the straight. And he's already got Jay Elliot on his tail, so he must have made a mistake in Graham Hill Bend. But he now currently still leads, and is trying to now extend that lead back out to Jay Elliot to a more comfortable level. We saw Harry Neale running out wide onto the grass. He's got Biggs, Cameron Biggs, closing the gap on him. But all these four nicely spaced out, not really having to worry about each other at the moment. Fifth place we have Eric Mignon leading the second group, because he has Sam Dimolo quite close behind. These two teammates in the Daytona 24 Hours finished in 12th place, I believe it was. So a good run by them. A few issues in terms of throttle sticking and things like that, but for a first time 24-hour team, certainly put up a good fight and enjoyed the weekend from what I hear, so that's the most important thing. But Mignon there carrying the baton for the red team tonight, with his teammate Olly Smith not able to make it. And these Red Bull Juniors do look absolutely brilliant in the sun here at Brands Hatch as they rocket through the corners with the downforce building. Compared to the GR4 cars that they are racing later on tonight, you know, these cars will feel lovely. They won't be sliding about too much, and they'll have the bit. Oh, we've got a yellow flag further ahead. It's Harry Neale, who's off on the straight. What has happened to Harry Neale there? He's off on the pit straight. That is a bizarre incident. I know it's not straight, but he's dropped to 7th. Let's have a look here. What happened to Harry Neale? He comes into the final corner, slides it round final corner fine. Oh, he catches the grass, and that is it. Trying to Colin McRae it along the grass, and he goes around. Probably could have done with just lifting off there and letting the incident not extend itself halfway to Paddock Hill Bend, because if he had kept the power on there, he might have ended up out of Kent as well. So they're back on board with Harry Neale, who is trying to close back down on Sam Dimolo. Sam Taylor has got ahead of Sam Dimolo as well here. So has Sam Dimolo made a mistake somewhere? We'll just flick back and see. Yes, he made a mistake through Druids and is now having to fight off the attentions of very quick Harry Neale. We're going to have to watch Neale now try and come back through the field as Dimolo's off, and alongside comes Harry Neale, and through he goes. Dimolo, no chance of fighting that after running wide. And this is actually one of the closest battles on the circuit at the moment. We've got a bit of a spaced out grid. Martin Robinson has actually just gone quicker with a 20.6, which is quicker than his pole time. So Martin Robinson certainly pushing on here, even though he sits with a nice lead, as Harry Neale will now try and close down on Clandale Champ 2005, who is Sam Taylor, with Team White sandwiching Team Green at the moment. Could almost call it a white bread lettuce sandwich. No lift there by Taylor. Oh, touching the grass and had to save it just to stop it spinning out. No change further ahead. Eric Mignon 6.2 seconds ahead of this pack. So Harry Neale will be looking to try and get past as soon as possible. But Neale's off again. Oh, running wide. Collects it up, but that has cost him a lot of ground. And Harry Neale is not having the look of the draw here at Brands Hatch. Very easy to get on the power too early in these corners and run out wide with the understeer, and it's just eaten up Harry Neale tonight. But we'll head back to the front, and there is your leader and your champion-elect, Martin Robinson, who's wide on Graham Hill Bend. He's pushing so hard to stay ahead of Jay Elliot, who is staying with him. He's only 1.3 seconds behind. They've dropped Cameron Biggs for now, who is there just 4-5 seconds back from that group. But we'll have a look at this fight for the lead currently, as there is Jay Elliot trying to close down the gap on our champion-elect. As much as they're competitive and as much as they probably respect what Martin Robinson's done this season, they will not want to let him finish his season and be crowned champion with a win. They'll want to make sure he works hard for this, and so far he is. You can see, slide well caught there by Elliot as he heads down towards Clearways. 66 on his car, and he's now 2.5 seconds back. That's just extended that lead out for Robinson. Looking further back, Harry Neale is now on the tail of, well, heading towards the tail of Sam Taylor. Sam Dimlow must have made another mistake because he's dropped a little further back, but we'll let Harry get up to Sam Taylor first. And there is Tim Malgon still going round in 8th place, trying to score points for Team Orange and try and keep them in the fight for not having the wooden spoon. But he runs wide there into the gravel, and that just slows him down, stops him hitting the wall. But he's going to be lapped, I think, very shortly by the leaders, Martin Robinson. But we'll head back to the battle with Harry Neale for now, as he tries to close down on Sam Taylor, the former Sprints Clubman winner here in the Clubman class, doing quite well this season. And Taylor pulls to the side and lets Harry Neale go. Now that was very interesting. Why would Taylor feel the need to do that unless he had a slowdown to get rid of? I'm not sure why he would feel the need to do that. Neale is a lot quicker than Taylor, but obviously Taylor not wanting to get in a fight with the 66 of Harry Neale. So we head back to the front. There is Robinson. As I say, 2.9 seconds in the lead, but pushing hard. You can see him running wide on the corners, flicking the back end out. Robinson determined. He has just put in a 20.5 again. Is that his last lap? No, his last lap was a 21.1. So Robinson dropping the pace slightly, but still pushing hard. You can see the time loss is possibly through mistakes rather than actual pace loss, as he closes in on Tim Maragon to put a lap down on him, and he's wide into the gravel and he's off. Oh, the championship leader, well caught, amazingly caught by Martin Robinson there as he come down the hill. But that has given Jay Elliot a little bit more to push on. We'll go on board with Martin Robinson as we see what he does here. He goes into the corner, misses the apex, power on, and look at this, fully sideways. You can hear him fettling the throttle, and we'll just watch that again from the outside view. There is Robinson as he comes down the hill. Let's see, as he goes fully sideways, and that is well caught by Martin Robinson. If you can win a race after doing that, you can be champion any day. But Jay Elliot is trying to make sure that's not going to happen. 2 seconds behind now, pushing hard as Robinson closes in. There is the blue flags out for Tim Maragon in the Orange Arrows Red Bull Junior. Last time somebody, I'm just looking further back actually, there's a flash of lights by Robinson, letting Maragon know he's there, and he's gone wide again coming out of that corner. Maragon absolutely got his own right to keep his racing line. He does get out the way on the exit of the corner, but Does he let Jay Elliot through as well? We'll look further back. Yes, he does. Into clearways, he's going to let Jay Elliot go. But I have just noticed further back, Sam Taylor is back ahead of Harry Neale. So while Sam Taylor did let Neal through, Neal's off again. Oh, Harry Neale. This is not the night for you, is it, in these Red Bull Juniors? That is the third spin at least that we've seen for Harry Neale. And after running in a podium position early on, he is now down in 6th place and is just lucky that there's been mistakes from Sam Dimolo to not be lower. Harry Neale really pushing hard to try and cement his second in the championship, and he's kind of lucky that Dimolo, who's 4th in the championship with 86 points, is behind him in the race. Could it play into Cameron Biggs' hands, it looks like, who is currently sitting 3rd in the race. He could possibly move ahead of Dimolo in this race and close in on Neal, and we could have a huge fight for second in the championship going into the final race of the season. But Cameron Biggs just keeping it clean. He is being closed on by Eric Mignon in 4th, but is that just Biggs trying to keep his nose clean and get through? He's coming up on his teammate Tim Maragon right now, so Tim Maragon will be getting the orders. Oh, Maragon's off, and it makes it really easy for Biggs now. Will there be a few team orders here just to keep Mignon a bit further back off the back of Biggs? We will see. I doubt it. They're both very clean players. There is Eric Mignon in 4th, doing a great job yet again. Mignon not had a podium in these Red Bull Juniors yet, so he'll be wanting to fix that if he can close on Cameron Biggs in the next 4.5 minutes. And here's Harry Neale, and we have a yellow flag because that is Sam Taylor off the track at Paddock Hill Bend. He's now rejoining, but that is a big off by... We'll go on the chase cam if we can. We'll have a look back at that as he comes down into Paddock Hill Bend, brakes nicely, slides wide, and oh, it just goes into the gravel and then spits it. That's a strange one. Spits him out onto the inside of the circuit. The photographer's wondering what's going on as well. And Harry Neale zooms past and up into 5th place. Oh, and we're back with Sam Taylor, who's off again, and that's Dimolo now going past him. So we'll have a look at that for Sam Taylor. A terrible lap here for Sam Taylor. Getting it through that corner. I'm not sure if he's having an issue with his controller stroke wheel by the looks of that, because it didn't sound right. So we'll have to find out about that after the race. But he's back up to speed and in 7th place. But while we've been away, Martin Robinson is not in the lead. Jay Elliot is. So let's have a look if there's... Yes, Robinson had already made a mistake, and through is Elliot, and what is a massive 4.5 second lead. I apologise massively for missing that. I don't think I even saw it on the timing screen, but Jay Elliot now leads here at Brands Hatch. Elliot has been out doing some sprints since he's been in the Club 100 rounds in, shall we say, the physical world. Is now leading after not doing 2 weeks this year. So he's only done last time out, and it didn't go perfectly, only scoring 17 points out of the 2 races. But Elliot is going to double his total at least with this victory if he can just hold on for the next 2 minutes. So we're looking 2 laps here for the leader, Jay Elliot. 4.5 seconds in the lead ahead of Martin Robinson, who we don't know what happened there, but it wasn't the last lap because he did a 1:21.4, so he's back on the pace there. It must have been while we're looking at the battle for 5th, as Sam Taylor went, and I think Martin Robinson owes Sam Taylor a drink because we never got to see the incident which left Robinson in 2nd place. and not leading because we were watching 2 replays of Sam Taylor. So there's definitely a couple of drinks heading your way, Mr. Taylor. And Robinson can just say he gave a win away on purpose. But he is starting to close back in on Jay Elliott. He's 3.6. He was wide again. I said this early in the race. He was ragged, and he's on the gravel again. He's now got a slowdown penalty. Robinson could, at this rate, could lose a podium. The amount of times he's off the track. But he heads round to start the final lap. Jay Elliott does, in the lead, ahead of Robinson. And I can't see any other battles on the map at the moment. Cameron Biggs has pulled away, and if anything, he's closing on Robinson. But 4 seconds to close on this last lap, so we'll head out to our leader. There is Jay Elliott, trying to cruise to a victory. A last lap of 22.2, so he's obviously just eased it off now, just to try and get it round. No mistakes. He's staying well off the curbs. Or at least there he is. Does he take a... No, that's not as much curb as some have been taken through Graham Hill Bend. So as Robinson is off again in the background, pushing hard for that win, and he could end up in the gravel somewhere at this rate. Very ragged by our champion-elect. But I think this would actually be enough still for Robinson to win the championship. So I will call it if I believe he is, and I'll do the maths in the break. But we are on the final lap as Jay Elliott heads down towards the end of this lap. It's the most difficult corner out the way with. Sam Dimlow and Sam Taylor have finished in 7th and 6th respectively already because of timeout, so that's released Harry Neale to stay in 5th. But round the final corner, he's only done half the season, but Jay Elliott is going to take his first win of the season here at Brands Hatch as he crosses the line and wins here in Kent. A great win for Jay Elliott. Second goes to Martin Robinson. Third for Cameron Biggs, who was closing on Robinson at the end with all them mistakes. We look further back and here comes Eric Mignon, a great 4th place, his best results in the Red Bull Juniors this season. And 5th will go to Harry Neale, who managed to pull 25 seconds ahead of Sam Taylor with the mistakes for Taylor. He comes round the final corner and it should have been a podium for Neal, but he spins across the line to make sure he had done more spins than Felipe Massa in the Silverstone 2008 Grand Prix. But last of all, in 8th place, there is Tim Maragon coming across the line and scores points for his team, but it is Jay Elliott who has took victory by 5.274 seconds over Martin Robinson, who I believe is the champion of the Clubman class this year. We will do the maths just to confirm it. But a great race by Jay Elliott, who will boost himself in the championship no end with that result. So, just to run you through the race again, I'll just save that replay and bring you up results. Jay Elliott wins it by 5.2 seconds after a mistake by Martin Robinson. Cost Robinson at least 8 seconds and fell back to 2nd place, but takes the fastest lap point as well. Cameron Biggs is in 3rd to boost his chances of 2nd in the championship. Mignon in 4th, Harry Neale in 5th, and 6th for Sam Taylor. Sam Dimlow down in 7th, that's going to be costly in the championship, and Tim Maragon in 8th. Wow, what a race that turned out to be near the end. But we are heading out into the GR4 cars. There's a little bit of practice now. The race will be starting at 21:45, so we do have a bit of a 10-minute break. I will be popping this on and having a quick break as the graphics sort of throw itself around a little bit, and I'll leave you with some practice laps for these drivers, and I'll be back with you in a short while. Welcome back here to the Nürburgring, the famous GP circuit here at the Nürburgring. As I watch my whiteboard slide towards the edge of my computer, so we'll just leave it there, make sure it's balanced. We just had a quick add up of the championship scores, so before we go into this race I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. And I can confirm that our champion of the Clubman class is one Martin Robinson there in the BMW. He is your champion of the Clubman class and will qualify up into the top class when we next run season 5. A dominating season with only one podium missed throughout the year so far, so he'll be looking to keep that up in this final race of the season anyway. Should have had another victory at Brands Hatch, but threw that away, so sits on 3 wins this year. He'll want to make the most of this race. He's on 148. Harry Neale, but then the interesting bit comes. Harry Neale sitting on 104 points. Dimolo, 95 points. Olly Smith, who's not here tonight, 90 points. 94 points for Cameron Biggs. Eric Mignon 85. So you've got a few drivers there with 25 points for a win. 26 is the maximum you can get from this race, which actually I believe there should be another point. Who was on pole last time out? It was Martin, so there's another point on Martin's score there, so I just missed that one out. That's 149. But yeah, we'll be starting the race soon, Sam says. So we'll quickly run through the championship. It's Robinson on 149, Neal 148, 94, 95 for Dimlo, 94 for Biggs. That is how close that battle for the last promotion spot is. Mignon on Smith on 90, Mignon on 85, Harris on 73, Taylor on 66, and then Tim Malgon on 48 and Jay Elliot on 42. Remember, this is a reverse grid race. So we've now got the 2 Sams on the front row in the Citroens. Harry Neale and Eric Mignon in 4th. So we're waiting for the lights. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights. And we're away here at the Nürburgring. A poor start by Sam Dimolo, but a mega start by Harry Neale, who slots into 2nd place early on. But there is Sam Dimolo falling down the field. He's dropped down to 6th place, I think it is, as we look. 7th place as Martin Robinson tries to drive around the outside of a couple of drivers, side by side currently with Jay Elliot in front. But it's Sam Taylor who leads on this opening lap ahead of a McLaren of Harry Neale, but Eric Mignon is threatening that in his Ferrari, and Cameron Biggs close behind in his Jaguar. When we've got a bit of a lull in this race, I will run you through the Constructors' Championship because it's quite close there as well for positional. But Sam Taylor leading this race. He had a few issues at Brands Hatch through a couple of mistakes, so he will be looking for his 2nd podium of the season here, his 1st one in the GR4 cars. But he's been pushed by Harry Neale, who has shown tremendous pace but had an even worse race than Sam Taylor at Brands Hatch. And I think, as I said before, spun more times than Felipe Massa at Silverstone. So the two spinners from the opening race tonight now leading away at the front. 3rd place for Eric Mignon in the Ferrari, now being challenged by Jay Elliott in the BMW. Is that the car Jay picked last week? I'm not 100% sure, but I guess so. So we've got the 2 BMWs behind the Ferrari with your champion Martin Robinson in 5th, Cameron Biggs in 6th, and Sam Dimolo in 7th with Tim Malgon in 8th. But this is the battle for the start as Jay Elliott dives out into the Schumacher chicane, takes the inside nicely. Mignon not fighting, knows this is a much longer race, 10 minutes longer than the last time, and we're only at the end of lap 1. But as we come across the stripe for the first time, it is Sam Taylor who leads it. Harry Neale right behind him in 2nd place, and will probably look for a move into the 1st corner here. They're diving down towards the corner. Taylor leaves the door open but brakes late enough. Oh, and Neal locks up, hitting the back of Taylor, but have they both got away with it? Yes, they have. Harry Neale did get an underlap but let Taylor go. Knew he'd pushed him wide, but those two just have to be careful, because up into third and fourth is Jay Elliott and Martin Robinson close behind, and they are flying in these BMWs right now, moving their way up through the field. Just to quickly run you down the constructors while they are just sitting a line astern, I believe the blue team of Martin Robinson and Peter Harris are the constructors champions this year with 221 points, but the battle is on for second place with Mignon and Olly Smith, again not here tonight, with 175, and Team White for two Sams, as down the inside goes Harry Neale for the lead and takes Sam Taylor, who needs that win because they are sitting only 14 points behind Team Red on 161. And then for the wooden spoon, Team Green are only sitting 4 points ahead of Team Orange. So that Jay Elliott is flying through the field right now, and Harry Neale is in first. Team Green looking very strong and could even possibly challenge for third if they have the perfect race, which at the moment they're heading for. Remember, there is fuel wear and tyre wear on this race, unlike the one earlier, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. There's 26 minutes still remaining on the clock. Will they pit? Everybody else has sort of needed to pit this season. Only the tyre whisperer himself and fuel whisperer himself, Olly Smith, has sort of stretched it out further enough to make a difference this year. But he's not here, as we've said, and that's going to leave the battle on. But these seven are all still together as we look further behind, and Jay Elliott is now under pressure. He's got a penalty and lets Martin Robinson go up the inside, so it's not holding up two of them up. So our champion is now up into third place, and Sam Dimolo still mired down behind Eric Mignon. He will know exactly what the back of Mignon looks like throughout this race and throughout the last race. So, and the wipers are on from Dimolo. That's probably not helping because it's not raining, Sam. It hasn't rained since Spa, so you might want to turn them off. But out in front here is your current leader, Harry Neale, setting the pace with 204.563, sitting ahead of Sam Taylor, and just possibly helping Team Red out a little bit, because Mignon down in 6th currently. He wants to do a bit of strategy, possibly make one of them random calls and try and put himself in a much stronger position. But the lead is currently half a second. Two BMWs in third and fourth closing in. A bit wide by Taylor there in that corner. Certainly getting to grips with his cars better tonight than Sam Dimolo, his teammate. The Club 100 testers normally post out the times from practice saying whether they're quicker or not, so Taylor may just be posting out these results, but won't be near. But then Dimolo will post out the championship results and show he is over 30 points clear. You know, depends what you want in life. But they come around final corner for the third time to start lap number 4, and Neal just trying to stretch that lead slightly. He's 6 tenths clear, almost 7 tenths clear now of Sam Taylor. Robinson not really gaining much, but he is locked in a scrap with Jay Elliott. Jay seems to be pushing him towards the front two, but I don't think the bump draft is really working right now, as Elliot has a penalty. That is why he's trying not to pass Robinson, but to be honest, it's possibly holding them both up, and Elliot might just want to get rid of that penalty, even if it lets Biggs past wide there by all the cars. That is allowed, as Dimolo is still stuck behind Mignon. But these cars lightning quick around this Nürburgring circuit. Let's hope none of them start running out of fuel. Certainly wouldn't want that, especially for anybody currently in the championship chase for the qualification positions. But you are still looking at your current champion, Martin Robinson, sitting third. Sitting comfortably third, I'd say, looking a lot less ragged than he did last time out. And Sam Taylor has yet again found the indicator button. I think he's actually indicating the opposite way to what he did last time, so he's found the other button now. But yeah, Sam Taylor indicating away that he is in second place. It's not his, oh, it was Hazard's last time. Now he's found the indicator, so at least we know which way he might be going if you want to overtake him. But Robinson has closed up. Oh, a tag on the rear. Oh, Biggs looking at the back of Elliot as well. This group has closed right up as Neal pulls out in front in the McLaren. So we'll stick with this group for now as they head down the pit straight for the 5th time. Will this group now start working together to close on Harry Neale? Neal looking to secure that second in the championship. A win would do it. He sits 9 points clear of Sam Dimolo. Most you can get in this race is 26 points. The least you can get is 8, I believe, for 8th place. It's 9 or 8, something like that. So yeah, 8 points for 8th place. So if I could do my maths quickly, about a 17 point swing, 18 point swing you can have in this race. 26 to 8. 26 to 8. Sorry, 18 point swing. Yeah, 18 point swing it is. I'll get there with my maths. So that means that even... Yes, Harry Neale is only 10 points ahead of Cameron Biggs, 9 ahead of Sam Dimolo. Mignon is 19 points back from second, but obviously could still get third. So Sam Taylor still holding off this pack of cars, including our champion. It's nice to see Robinson still with a fire to try and get another win this season as they head up towards the chicane near the end of a lap. Not a huge amount of movement by these guys, but looking further back, Dimolo has finally got past Eric Mignon in the Ferrari and is trying to close back on the gap with his windscreen wiper going like crazy. Must have a load of flies on the windscreen or something. But he heads out onto the pit straight. Is Dimolo trying to close the gap on Cameron Biggs. So currently your second in the championship battle is first, 5th and 6th and 7th in this race. So it is advantage Harry Neale for now. But will that still be the same later on in the race? Here is your second place man, Sam Taylor. Just keep it, Harry Neale not pulling away too much, but Taylor defending well as Robinson runs a little bit wide. That's going to give a run. Oh, Biggs is up the inside as well. Oh, there's a big crash somewhere, I think. Or was it just somebody hitting the curb? I'm not sure. Let's just have a quick look. No, there's Tim Maragon in 8th place, scoring the points for the team. But Robinson dropped back off Sam Taylor in that twisty section at the start of the lap and has to fight off the attentions of Jay Elliott, who dives down into the Dunlop corner. Oh, it's a great move there by Elliott, and Cameron Biggs is going to follow through here. Will he be able to get the run up the straight? No, he won't. Be on the outside for a chicane. He can't hold it round there, can he? No, he doesn't, and slots back into 5th. We will try and get back to that move from Jay Elliott at some point. Let's see if we can head back to it now. Yeah, just up the inside there. We just caught the end of it. But now he has to fight off the attentions. He's got a penalty from the Schumacher S and has to hold off the charging Robinson, who wants that podium. He wants to have 5 podiums, sorry, 7 podiums out of 8 this season. All over curbs, sideways by Robinson. That is going to mean he's going to have to be slightly defensive, keeping Biggs behind. It's allowed Elliot just to stretch away that little bit. Elliot's absolutely flying tonight. Bit of gravel there kicked up by Biggs, and that is allowing Dimelo and Mignon to come back into the fight. So there is your top 7 all in shot as they head down the pit straight, and the fastest lap actually goes to Mignon with a 2:04.5. So that is a cracking lap by Mignon. Was that last time round? No, it wasn't. So Mignon certainly trying to close the gap here and not struggling too much at doing so, as we look at Biggs looking to be inside of Robinson here. Nice move by Cameron Biggs, and he's got him. He's through. Robinson's got a penalty to get rid of, and tonight not quite going well for the champion, but luckily he's done such hard work that these mistakes are letting him off. Dimelo now back up into 5th place. Can he threaten Neal for 2nd in the championship? We're coming up to about the halfway point in the race, so definitely looking at a one-stopper here. So we're now going to have a look through the car info. There's Harry Neale. Tyres not looking too bad, but just over a quarter of a tank of fuel. A lot more fuel used by Sam Taylor, but he will be pitting maybe a lap earlier, still with the indicator flashing. Maybe that's something to do with it. About the same as the leader for the BMW, but tyres used up that little bit more. Same with a bit of fuel saving there, certainly by Martin Robinson. Will that be able to give him an extra lap? I'm not too sure. But Biggs will probably be in this time by with that thirsty Jaguar. And looking further back, about the same for Dimelo and Mignon. But there's Neal. He comes through the chicane. Just over 1 second ahead of Sam Taylor. We think Cameron Biggs will be in this lap, and he is. That Jaguar just a little bit too thirsty on the fuel, but it does mean he will be able to fuel up to the end of the race now. As Cameron Biggs comes in, his team are ready to refuel and change tyres. Looks like probably will be soft tyres going back on for Biggs, who has done the first stint on the soft tyres. Takes a while to get down to the pit box here on garage 18, and in he comes. Jaguar crew lifting the car up, changing the tyres. That's a quick bit. It's the fuel that takes the time. In it goes. We're waiting, still waiting. A good amount of fuel having to go into this car, because he's got half the race still to go. Won't be quite a full tank, but away he goes and into 7th place. Now Biggs wants to push on this opening, on this lap, and try and use a little bit of fuel and some of the fresh tyres as Tim Maragon pits. So the 2 Team Orange cars in 7th and 8th, but both have now pitted. But there's Harry Neale heading up towards the Schumacher S, where Hamilton went off in 2007 qualifying. Keeps it within track limits. Sam Taylor still keeping him honest. So I think Taylor may be in this time by. Will Harry Neale have enough fuel to sort of stretch it another lap in the keeper McLaren? We will see as they head towards the end of the lap here. Very controlled drive by Harry Neale so far, probably saving a little bit of fuel, to be fair. As he comes into the chicane up over curbs. Now does he pit this time by? No, Neal goes again. And Sam Taylor is in. He's in the pits. And so is Jay Elliott. Oh, a late cut by Jay Elliott to go into the pits. Robinson continues. Mignon is in as well. Dimelo goes again. Has he got enough fuel to go again? Yes, probably just. So he heads off with the champion elect. Well, the champion for this season, for season 4. Martin Robinson, they head off in pursuit of Harry Neale. But let's see what order the guys come out in the pits. In comes Jay Elliott. Very sharp cut into the pit lane, using all the gap available. Even took out the cone, I believe. Colin going absolutely flying. It'll be a slightly shorter fill than Cameron Biggs. Let's see if Biggs has done enough on his outlap to close the gap. He's coming onto the pit straight now. Will he be able to do it? Out comes Jay Elliot. And Sam Taylor has jumped him. Sam Taylor has jumped Jay Elliot in the pits, and that was a mega stop by Sam Taylor. Sorry, Sam Taylor was second anyway. My mistake there. I was thinking of a previous race. But yeah, Sam Taylor out in fourth, 2 seconds ahead of Jay Elliot, so he's extended that gap, so it was still a great pit stop by the Citroen crew. And Mignon has closed up on the back of Jay Elliot, so but that didn't work out for Cameron Biggs, who's out wide there on turn 4. But look how much time he has lost with that extra time in the pit stops, and he now picks up a slow down penalty for his worries. So we head back to the front, a 6.2 second lead for Harry Neale. As he heads round, he will probably be in the pits this time by. Led from the front so far, Harry Neale, and will be looking not to lose this race, but McLaren crew would have to do a good pit stop. As we see him slice across, he's into the pits and should come out in the lead unless Sam Taylor puts in a blinder of an outlap. Will Robinson pit? Yeah, Robinson and Dimlo very close together actually. Dimlo doing a great job on that in lap, and that may just put him in a strong position coming back out. So we will now have a look at Sam Taylor sitting fourth, first of the pit stoppers. Even in the pit stop they didn't fix that indicator. He heads down to the chicane for the 9th time. 10 minutes 50 to go in this race. All over the chicane, pushing hard on this out lap. Taylor already pitted, pulled away from Jay Elliot a bit, so that's great by him so far. Now let's see how it goes as he comes down the pits. Or is it going to be close with Harry Neale? It is going to be close, but Neale is out. There is Neale rejoining the circuit, and there is Taylor. So looking further back, let's see what happens here. Will Jay Elliot pip them all? And no, Dimolo has pipped. Has he got ahead? Always side by side, they're still sorting it out, but Dimolo now in the challenge. And it looks like order resumed, apart from Cameron Biggs has lost out big time, dropping from 5th to 7th. But the battle continues behind for Mignon and Dimolo, the championship organiser. So that battle will continue. Will Mignon make it through there? Oh, sorry, wrong one. No, doesn't make it through on Dimolo, but that has put the champion up into 3rd place for Martin Robinson, ahead of Jay Elliott. So a little bit of strategy, good in laps and out laps has worked there. But I certainly think the winner in that pit stop, the loser was Cameron Biggs, but the winner has possibly got to be Sam Taylor. He's managed to pull out a little bit of a gap there over the battling crew. He was leading it, now he's about 1.5 seconds clear, but Harry Neale now 3 seconds clear in the lead, pitted with a 6-second lead over Robinson. That's closed slightly, but it's not too bad. So all the drivers have now pitted. Fastest lap of the race actually by Cameron Biggs last time out at 2:04.466, so the pace is in that Jaguar. He's got a penalty to get rid of, but he will want to close the gap to these boys first and then try and lose it in the braking areas as the race goes on. We've got 8.5 minutes to go, and this is a big battle. Currently Harry Neale will take that position in the championship. Mignon has managed to squeeze past. We've got loads of blue flags out for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, but we'll just have a look how Mignon, he was already ahead of Sam Dimolo going through the chicane as Dimolo almost lost the front end. Remember, we do have a live chat open, so feel free to leave any comments as you go along. Dimolo dropping back actually a little bit here. Is this the end of his challenge for second in the championship? He's still ahead of Cameron Biggs. So let's just have a look at some of the points here. Biggs will stay behind Dimlow right now. They're separated by a point. But does this let anybody else nip in? Smith's not here. Neal will be second. Mignon, no, he's only one place ahead. So actually, this battle for 6th and 7th is your battle for 3rd in the championship and 3rd promotion spot to the top class. As you can see in front, Jay Elliott has got ahead of Martin Robinson and is closing in on Sam Taylor. But we're going to stick with this because this is the important battle. And I thought you'd say it, but 6th place is the important battle in this race. We've got to try. That last lap was a 2:04.2 by Dimlow, but obviously must have been a penalty because it hasn't come up as a fastest lap. As we look ahead and side by side go the 2 BMWs again, and Jay Elliott squeezed Robinson there a little bit. They've closed in on Sam Taylor, both got penalties to get rid of. And yet again, as always, that Ferrari of Eric Mignon in these GR4 races is doing a grand job. Mignon, not always the quickest, but consistent with his pace, and just stays out of trouble as Cameron Biggs has passed Sam Dimlow, and that now puts the two drivers equal on points in 3rd in the championship. So going off that, it would be Dimlow to take it with 2 second places to Biggs's 1, and Cameron Biggs would have a 2nd and a 3rd. So that's how it would go at this moment in time on countback. But we're all changing in front as Sam Taylor has lost out there massively to Jay Elliott. Now has Robinson alongside, and will Mignon try and nip through as well? Robinson will take 3rd place there, and Mignon would try and have a look back at Taylor, try and get the run while he's having the issues, but we'll look back at that. Nose up the inside by Jay Elliott, and by there's a little bit of contact there, just forcing Taylor wide from the 2 BMWs. That will be looked at by the stewards at the end of the race. Not sure there's a huge amount that could be done there from our replay, but that will have to be looked at. And I think it was actually maybe the champion who should have backed out a little bit more, but obviously we will leave that down to the stewards. But Taylor will push on. He's in 4th place. Mignon running a little bit wide just behind, and Cameron Biggs looking to try and close this gap. He's still got about 1.5 second penalty, but he needs to be right behind Mignon if there is a mistake from the Belgian, because he needs that 1 extra point to gain 3rd in the championship. It is 10th times for these two drivers in 6th and 7th place. There is your leader, Harry Neale, coming across the stripe to start lap 13. He's managed to pull away, and it's currently a green team 1-2. Could they just nip a position in the top 3 of this Constructors' Championship, which would be amazing, considering how Jay Elliott hasn't done half the season. Sam Dimlow pits. A new set of tyres for Dimlow, I'm guessing, rather than fuel, unless he's realised he hasn't put enough in. I can see a comment from Ezra R. How's it going in this race? I'm guessing you've just joined us, but you've missed a tense championship finale here, where Cameron Biggs and Sam Dimlow are fighting over 6th place. Whoever finishes ahead could take 3rd in the championship. But currently Harry Neale is out in front ahead of his teammate Jay Elliott. Martin Robinson is in 3rd, the champion-elect trying to get that 2nd place off Jay Elliott. There is Sam Taylor, you can just see behind him 4th after running 2nd for most of the race, and Eric Mignon looking like he might just be able to scrape a top 4 here if he keeps pushing. But the 2 BMWs side by side, very respectful by these two drivers so far. They both come from the back. Elliot winning the opening race here tonight for taking his first win after Robinson led by 5 seconds, and something happened that lost him 10. But Robinson's up the inside. Oh, leans on the door panels of Elliot as they head up towards the chicane. Can Elliot hang it round the outside? I don't think he's going to. Robinson, the champion, is up into second place. And up into third goes Sam Taylor as Elliot tries to get rid of a penalty. Is that going to allow Mignon to get past? It doesn't look like it for now, but a second penalty for Robinson to get rid of. Third is Sam Taylor. No penalty. No penalty for Elliot. No penalty for Mignon. And there is Cameron Biggs starting to relieve himself of that penalty. And now he has caught the group. Robinson getting rid of a penalty down into turn 1. But Biggs just trying to get rid of it because he needs one more position to take third in the championship, because currently it's going on count back to Sam Dimolo. But we head back to Robinson, who's now under pressure from Sam Taylor, who's doing a great job. But he's dived up the inside by Elliot, and that is a clean overtake by Elliot. Great move there. Just try and look back at that. If we go on board, oh, hang on, that's the wrong replay. Sorry, that's the incident that pushed Elliot wide, Taylor wide earlier on. So we will actually miss that overtake by Elliot, but we did see it on the stream. It was a very good move there. Yeah, comment about the Jaguar. BOP has not been kind to the Jaguar, who's in 6th place at the moment. Yeah, I think the guys picked the cars before the BOP was changed. They did have the option to change, but obviously nobody really knew what was what. And it come at the wrong time when the championship just started, but that's the way it is. And there's 45 seconds left on the clock as Harry Neale heads round, and he will get onto a final lap, I believe. So here is Harry Neale, led from lap 1 and dominated this race, controlled, and just what he needed after Brands Hatch in the opening race tonight, where he was spinning like a top most of the race. I think he was spinning less than my daughter's spinning top. But yes, he's now controlling the race. He goes out onto his final lap, but will it be just a victory lap? Let's see as Martin Robinson comes round. Don't get rid of any penalties now, Martin. You've got to make it to that line. Who's going to make it? Robinson makes it. Who else does it? Oh. Mignon's last. Mignon's made it across the line and finishes in 5th place, and that's massive for the championship when he was on the back of these guys. So Mignon finishes in 5th, Cameron Biggs in 6th, and these two guys were on the back of this battle but just ran out of time, as we now have a huge battle for 3rd place. These guys know they will be in the top 4 of this race, and Harry Neale is off down the road, so this is a battle for 2nd place. You have Jay Elliott, who won race 1 here tonight, Robinson, who is crowned the champion, or Sam Taylor, who is backed off further back. Has he not got enough fuel to make it to... No, he hasn't. Sam Taylor having to back off due to fuel. That is disappointing for the Citroen driver. But we have this battle of the BMWs, and we're going to stick with this for the final lap as Elliot defends down into the hairpin. Robinson on the outside. It looks... Oh, and Sam Taylor is off in the gravel. That's not going to help his fuel mileage. But side by side, Robinson and Elliot. Robinson round the outside of the Schumacher S. Is he going to hang it in? Yes, he does. But we head down. They're still side by side, these two. Banging door panels as they go into the corner here where Damon Hill retired. They're still side by side. That's so close to contact between Robinson and Elliot. So much respect here. These guys have completed this final lap side by side for most of it. Robinson just going to creep ahead into the chicane. Will he be able to defend the line? He tries to pull across. Yes, he does. Elliot goes to the outside into the chicane. Will he get a better run out the corner? He's looking for it. I don't think he will. He won't. But Harry Neale comes round the final corner and will win here at the Nürburgring in the McLaren. Great victory there for Harry Neale. Robinson, the champion, comes in second ahead of Elliot. Great battle, respectful between those two. There is Sam Taylor trying to cruise home. Will take fourth place even though he's out of fuel. And fifth will go to Eric Mignon. Sixth, Cameron Biggs. Seventh, Sam Dimolo. And eighth for Tim Maragon. What a race. So crucial to the championship that Mignon didn't get across the line. But there is Harry Neale, your winner, and second in the championship for this season, and will qualify to the top class when season 5 returns. What a race that was. Just going to save the replay and then we'll run through results and just quickly work out who is where in the championship for this season. I'll just get the board ready. I'm literally doing it old-fashioned way here. So Harry Neale scores. If I could get the lid off the pen. There we go. 25 points for Harry Neale. Sorry, 26, because he got the fastest lap at the very end of that race. That's a great drive by Neale to nip in there with the fastest lap. Martin Robinson in second place. 7 podiums out of 8 for the champion. Elliot 16 points. 13 for fourth place, Sam Taylor. Great drive by him here tonight. 11 for Eric Mignon. Strong season by the Belgian. 10 for Cameron Biggs. 9 for... Is that right how it should be? Yes, it should. It should be 9 for Dimolo and 8 for Tim Maragon. So I'll just do the maths. Just very quickly doing the maths. So just bear with us. If you've got any comments about the stream, feel free to leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe the channel while I'm doing this. 79. Be great if you could. We'll just quickly do the constructors' scores as well while we're at it. So just bear with us. And my maths are very rough, so please forgive me if I'm slightly wrong on this. Wow, that was close. Wow, what a championship this could be. Just catching the end of the stream. Thank you for joining us. You can watch the stream back afterwards, but to run you down the championship order, which everybody will want to know, in first place we have Martin Robinson on 169 points. He is the champion by a clear 39 points from the ever rapid Harry Neale, who had a great season all in all, taking 3 victories actually in the end and matching Robinson's total but just didn't get the podiums, had the bad races, which cost him a chance at the championship. In third place we had Sam Dimolo, 104 points. Cameron Biggs, 104 points. So we go to count back on that, and it goes to Dimolo, as Biggs had a third place and a second place, whereas Sam Dimolo had 2 second places. So that little bit of form in the middle of the season just got Sam Dimolo the last promotion spot, and absolutely gutting for Cameron Biggs, who had to fight with that Jaguar all season long. In 5th place is Eric Mignon, who, if he got to grips with that Red Bull Junior just a little bit sooner in the season, could have been a contender, sitting on 96 points, only 8 points off Dimolo in the end for that promotion spot. 6th in the championship goes to the missing Olly Smith, who certainly gave us some fuel strategy throughout the season and will be a contender next time out. 7th in the championship goes to Sam Taylor, which I think is a brilliant result. You know, I know Peter Harris, who was 8th on 73, 6 points behind, missed a round, but 79 points after the poor start Taylor had. He's only ended up being, let's see, about 30 points off the third place, so that's a pretty good start by him. 8th for Harris, 9th for Jay Elliot, who pips Tim Maragon to 9th in the final race by 2 points. So if Sam Taylor had not run out of fuel and got ahead of Jay Elliott, that 9th place would not be Jay's. But in terms of Constructors' Championship, blue team is the champion, Martin Robinson, Peter Harris, 242 points in that team. 2nd place, we had a team on 186 points, a team on 183 points, a team on 160, and a team on 188. So ignoring the team orange, who had 160 points, we had 3 teams on 186, 183 and 188. So in 4th place in the points will be Team White, the 2 Sams, with 183. In 3rd in the points, with the missing Olly Smith here tonight, so would have took 2nd place quite easily, is Team Red with Eric Mignon and Olly Smith on 186, which means, considering Jay Elliott missed half a season, Team Green move up to 2nd in the championship, 188 points. The form of Harry Neale and Jay Elliott together would have been formidable if Elliott had done the whole season, but it is 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship for them to go with their 2nd and 9th in the points. So to conclude, I hope you've enjoyed the streams I've been able to produce. Obviously they're not the highest quality, but hopefully you've enjoyed the racing and the commentary to go with it. Please like, subscribe and press the notification bell on the channel, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some more action when season 5 begins, and hopefully some action in between that. I've got some iRacing on, and also maybe even do some Call of Duty at some point. We'll see what happens. But to round up the season and the Clubman class, Robinson, Neal and Dimolo will move up to the top class next season, and Robinson will take both championships away with him once the trophies are made. But for tonight, I thank you for watching, and we will see you in season 5. Remember, a little bit of a prolonged break until the next one, just to get the hunger back for everybody. As you can see, we've had a few missings because of certain events in people's lives, which is fair enough. You know, we do this for fun at the end of the day. But after you've watched this, head over to Double Dash Motorsport Media, where you have the Class 1 result. I'm not sure what that has been yet, so head over there. I'll be heading over to watch it in a short while. Live on Double Dash Motorsport media page, we will have the iRacing Club 100 Championship continuing in a week's time, Wednesday night, and that is the Ferraris around somewhere, I believe, but I can't quite remember where. I better get testing actually for that. And remember to check out the Club 100 YouTube channel and the Alpha Live YouTube channel. Some great action from the weekend of the 750 Motor Club and the British Kart Championship. And in a couple of weeks' time we will have, or they will have, some action, I believe, from the British mini bikes. And let me just check it out because I can't quite remember where it's coming from. Got British mini bikes from Ella and some British Kart Championship from Kim Bolton. The event's free already of that British Championship, so that will be great to see. But they have the British Championship from Shennington. There is also a stream of the event 1 of the British Motocross Championship. So the British Nationals, British Motocross Championship will get the title right. So it'll be something a little different there to go watch over on the Alpha Live channel. But for tonight, I thank you. Martin Robinson is your well-deserved champion with 7 podiums out of 8, but he will find it a lot tougher in the Premier class next season.